Hi everyone and welcome to CANDID. Today we are talking about nightmare first dates, awkward first dates, and I really like the cringy awkward stuff. Leah really she gets really cringed out by it, but I actually love it. Like I could sit there and just read about it all day. So as normal, I've done and found all the stories. So we're going to go ahead with some. I'm going to start off with light cringe because, like, I haven't really had any nightmare first dates. I haven't really had any first dates because I've been with James since I was 18, 17.
Yeah, I've been with Liam since I was 14. So, like, there's no dates, is there? Like, at 14?
No, and like, I was friends with James before we started going out. Like he asked me to prom on Facebook Messenger. So like I haven't really got any awkward first date stories, sadly. So we can't entertain you with our sadness. But I'm gonna entertain you with others. So, first one. He was showing me a picture of him and his dog. I asked why was he wearing such a fancy suit in the picture and made fun of him for it. He had been at his mum's funeral.
Oh.
So during this date, they're having a good old chat and he's showing a picture of him and the dog, because obviously that probably comes up. I talk about my dog all the time, so I can understand that. And literally, she starts making fun of him about wearing such a fancy suit, and turns out it was a picture from the funeral.
Oh, that's just a misunderstanding, though. I don't think that's too cringy. I think it's really like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But I mean, like, if it was a nice suit, it's a nice suit, you know?
Yeah, I think it depends, because some people get, like, I would just be like, oh, okay, and move on. But some people, I can guess, if they have a bit of anxiety about dating or just, well, to be fair, I overthink everything I say. To be fair, actually, this would probably be me, like, cringing to myself. But I find it so funny. It's not funny, but I do find it weird when people take photos at funerals. I find it really weird.
Do you know what? Maybe before I would have said yes, but then there is like... So when I was putting my dog down, I actually took a picture of my dog once he was dead. Like I've got a picture of my dead dog on my phone, and it was a picture of me with my dead dog. And I looked really sad and I was crying, and I didn't post it anywhere, and I didn't really show anyone. But it was more like in your brain at that time, you're like, oh, like I'll never have a last picture again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What was worse for me is I was on holiday, and we went every year. James and I go to like a different country for like what's it called, Christmas markets and stuff. And I was so convinced James was going to propose, right? This is how cringy is this, right? I was so convinced James was going to propose. We were in not Paris, where was it, Monte Carlo. We was in Monte Carlo. No, we weren't in Monte Carlo. Where the hell was we? No. It's somewhere really posh where there's like loads of boats and yachts and there's a big casino there. Oh, this is going to annoy me. I have like I have the magnet on my fridge. But anyway, we went somewhere like that and we went to like this really nice park with this waterfall. His parents were there. I thought, oh, they're probably there for taking the photos. We also went on holiday with them. They just didn't rock up like outside the bush or something. But yeah, I literally was so convinced. And Leah was like, when are you going to be back at the hotel? When are you going to be back at the hotel? Like, messaging me. I was like, why did you want to know when I'm going to be back at the hotel? Like, proper messaging me. And then when I obviously got back, I called my dad. And I called her phone. And I was like, Dad, where's Leah? Because she didn't answer. And he was like, she's gone to the shop with Liam. And I was like, nah, she don't leave without her phone. Like, something's up. And then he was like, Charlie had to be put down today. And I was like, I'm sorry. So there's no ring, but I've got a dead dog. And then she showed me the photos of the dead dog. And literally that whole trip was tainted. Like, I remember being on the bus going up to some Christmas market and like tears streaming down. I couldn't stop crying. And it was just really awkward because I walked in. I went and knocked on James's mum and dad's hotel room. And I was like, my dog's dead.
No, but you know what? Yeah, Dad kept saying to me, Leah, don't tell her that the dog is dead. And I was so heartbroken myself. And I was crying all the time. And I thought, I'm like an old person that can lie. Like, I really struggle to lie. So I always end up having to like say it. And I just knew, I was like, I'm going to have to avoid her to not tell her. But then she's going to know something is up. So, yeah.
So yeah, that was the story of me not getting proposed to.
But in regards to this date, yeah, if he's got a picture with the dog, he's probably smiling in it. So she's probably thinking it's more of like an occasional, like a wedding maybe, not a funeral.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Because who doesn't like to get dressed up and take pictures of their dog? Leah does it with mine all the time. I don't have any. But she's got many photos of her and my dog while she's all dressed up. She puts it for the gram. No, not even that, for your Snapchat. He doesn't even make it to Instagram. And do you know what Leah did to me? When she was doing a nice recap of the year. And she said about my wedding. She said about getting Ralph. What else did you say that happened? That was good. It wasn't a very good year for us, if I'm honest.
Yeah, to be honest. Oh, I went to a festival.
She went to a festival. Not one photo of me was on that. She mentioned me twice, but the dog got the airtime. So, yeah, that was great. Well, I did say I was starting off kind of like, what's the word? Tame. I kind of wanted to like ease you in a little bit on that one.
To be honest, I didn't find that cringy at all. But my cringe level is actually so bad because if I'm even watching a TV show, I literally have to go under the cover and like put my finger in my ears and until it's over because I get secondhand embarrassment really bad.
She also can't watch anything scary. She's hiding behind it.
So do you remember when I cried?
Yeah.
Do you remember when I cried?
Haunting of Hill House. I watched it. I binge watched it the whole day. Then went over to mum's with Leah and that. And literally, she was like, I rewatched the whole series to watch it with you guys. And she was hiding. And then Liam jumped up behind her and just sobbed.
I just cried.
Yeah, you are a bit of a scaredy cat, to be fair. But anyway.
Okay, coming from the person that still covers their mirrors to this day.
Okay, right, if anyone watches this and you understand how, like, the whole spirit realm can come through mirrors, like, you do not have them at the end of your bed. So, of course, when we went to that hotel, I swear it was haunted. It was when my sister got married. And literally, there was a mirror directly at the end of the bed. And I was getting some negative energy from it. I did not sleep.
Well, do you believe in spirits, though?
See, this thing, I'd like to believe in spirits.
You don't.
But I don't really. But at the same time, I am covering my mirrors. So I'm kind of on the fence. I watch stuff and I watch ghost stuff and I watch like mediums. My favourite medium is Long Island medium. Teresa, I love you. Not that you ever watch this. So yeah, I would love to believe in it. I just don't know.
Do you know what? Like, I just find it a bit weird because if it is true, then they're watching you shower and they're watching you shower naked. They're watching you go to the toilet. Like, it's just a bit of violation because if I was a spirit, I'd 100% be doing all those things.
Next one. It was a blind date. We met up at a coffee shop close to the university. He was very high and it was hard to get a conversation going. He just kept telling me I was beautiful as the brick wall we were sitting next to and that my skin looked soft enough to make into a nice robe. The date lasted maximum 15 minutes.
So he was just high? That was his only issue, was it? He was high?
Sorry, Leah, did you not hear the bit where he said you have really nice skin and I'd like to wear it pretty much? He literally said...
Oh, I didn't think... When he said robe, I didn't think about wearing it. That's like, what's it called? Hannibal Lecter vibes.
Silence of the Lambs was going to go down.
Yeah. And,
I love how you were like, that's it. The high was the only thing wrong with that. Oh my God.
Do you know what? Because I was thinking, oh, he's just high. But I didn't actually think about the fact that, okay, that he's probably like got those weird thoughts and then him being high is making him say them out loud.
And the fact he was like, you are beautiful as that brick wall.
Yeah, that's why I thought, oh, he must be high as a kite.
But to be fair, isn't it that, like, I understand narcotics can fuck with your brain a little bit. But, like, isn't it like a drunk something speaks a sober mind or something?
That's what they say about drinking. I don't know about highness. I suppose it's the same, innit? You're just so like laid back, relaxed.
Can you imagine if he wasn't high and that wasn't said and then like they get on really well and then he does make a robe out of her?
Well, it happens.
But yeah, I just love how you were like, that is the only thing that's wrong with... Oh my days.
Do you know what? It's just as well, I'm not single. Imagine what I'd be like on dates.
Like, oh, he only had some, like, he's a very adventurous guy. He showed me his boot. There was ropes. Oh, what? It smelled really nice. He tried to put this tissue over my face, but it smelled a bit chemically. I weren't sure what it was.
Oh, he had a lovely tooth necklace.
Oh, I did ask him what his wind chimes were made of. Bone. thought that was quite decadent, quite, you know, up and coming. Literally, I would be so concerned. I actually think if you had to go on first dates, I'd be like following you on Life 365. And when Becca was going on dates, I had her location. I still have got her location to this day, and I just would check in on her. And yeah, just to make sure she was okay, because you just don't know. Like,
you don't know.
And you hear about these people that are with like people that have like this whole separate life that they don't even know what's going on, and then they find that there's like 6 people in the basement
or your doorway. Yeah.
But yeah, so that is a very weird date. I don't even think I would have lasted 15 minutes. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, my skin, I've just had a facial. Oh.
I've actually been working on it, so thank you.
But the thing is, I don't understand like the robe.
No, because imagine you have one arm in the robe, and then look, now you got the little tassel bits, the ribbon.
What would they be? What would the tassel be made of?
Safe. This is sick. Do you know what? I'm starting to think, am I even safe in this podcast area?
No, to be fair, I do like horror films. I'm very intrigued. Intrigued's probably the wrong word, but I do watch a lot of like true crime and stuff, because I can't understand the thought process of someone to be able to do that. And I think that's what fucks with me a little bit, like actually understanding the level of psycho you have to be to do that.
It's weird, isn't it?
I do actually think though that we do live under a bit of a rock. Like, we were definitely brought up very sheltered. Mm-hmm. So actually when you go into like the big world, it is like, what the actual fuck, this happens. And so I think that's why I'm so intrigued by crime. And I've always liked horrors. Like, I've always watched horrors. Like, Steph and I growing up, we always did. Last night I did have a dream. What's happened is I've watched like 4 escape room films. So last night
should we do an escape room?
Not this kind, preferably, because they get murdered.
Not creepy kind.
Yeah, that's fine, we can. But yeah, so last night I had a really proper creepy dream about it. So yeah. Right, on from the psycho. I had a first date with a girl who told me, actually, I'm engaged, but I'm not 100% sure if he's the right one. So I'm going to go on a few dates to see if I change my mind.
Okay, keeping options open. I like it.
I don't know. I feel like I understand some people get like the pre-wedding jitters, although I don't understand it because I've never experienced that. I think I was just more stressed about the wedding itself. But I feel like if you've been with someone long enough to get engaged and say yes, I guess people always think like the grass is always greener, but it actually isn't. It can't. It might sometimes be.
But how would you know? Because you've only been on one side of the grass.
But this is the thing, right? Someone actually said to me, where James has been like my proper, like, I've been with him 11 years, my long-term partner, and someone said to me after like 5 years, they were like, God, like, do you think you're going to marry him? And I was like, well, I hope so. I've been waiting for it, like, kind of thing.
And then it only took another 6 years nearly.
Someone said to me, like, if you've always only eaten dairy milk, for example, you haven't tried Snickers.
Reese's Butternut Cup.
You haven't tried that. You haven't tried a twirl. Like, how do you know that there's not, you know, other chocolate out there that you prefer or like better? And I was like, yeah, but to be fair,
how do I know? You're gonna send me a midlife crisis. Liam, we're going on a break. How do I know?
But like, for example, if you like dairy milk, why would you change it? Because you might not like the Snickers. I love Snickers. But you might not like the Reese's.
But I do. I love it. It's my favourite.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think some people have this. I don't know if I believe in soulmates or twin flames, but I do believe that there is, you know, because it all depends. Like, if you were born in Australia, you wouldn't have met Liam, but you would have found someone else and been with them. I love you, Liam. I'm not trying to talk her out of your relationship.
I'm going to Australia.
But do you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's many people that you can connect with and vibe with and love with. Love, not love with. Do you know what I mean? So I think sometimes people overthink stuff and they see stuff on social media and they're like, oh God, you know, it's like the honeymoon phase, isn't it? Because people will say, you know, oh, it's just not the same as how it was, but it's a different kind of love. It's, you know, the love that someone's always there for you. So I think maybe she's having a bit of that moment. Maybe someone started to have the chocolate talk with her and she's starting to panic, and people will always push their agenda on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Always.
That is true.
And just because they have their own like insecurities, like I haven't ever, you know, worried that James wasn't the one, you know.
But how would we know? However, how do I know? Sophie, how do I know? You're going to send me to a whole midlife crisis. I'm not scheduled to have one for another 2 months. Well, no, because now I'm worried because I used to only like dairy milk, but now my taste has expanded. Now I have Reese's Buttercup Cup. I have the Snickers ice cream.
But I don't agree with this person going on dates behind...
But is it behind his back though?
Well, I'm not going to lie. If I was engaged to someone and they were like, oh, by the way, I just need to, you know, make sure I'm not missing out.
But if it's a date, it doesn't actually mean anything like it's going to happen, does it? It just means like you're just going to have a conversation with some people because it's better for her to do it now than to be married and then do it.
But I do class that as cheating. Because they've gone out with the intention of finding another relationship, another connection. They've obviously dated an app. They've scrolled through people. They've swiped on people they like. How could that not be cheating? And then you've accepted going on a date with someone.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you're that not sure to that extent, then maybe you should just have like a clean break, and then like, you know, maybe come back together in a few months if you do feel.
I do find, though, I have heard a few people say it was the right person, but at the wrong time.
Chills. That gave me chills.
Literal chills.
It wasn't until you gave me the chocolate analogy.
I think the thing is, this social media has just opened up this whole realm of shit. Yeah. And you're always second guessing everything, the way you look. Not that you should, you're beautiful. The way that you talk, the way that you dress, the way that you know, spend your money, where you live, where you work. You are constantly second guessing yourself and comparing yourself. So obviously your relationship will probably fall into that mess of that, because, and then that's when people say like, oh, you know, maybe I just need to find myself. I agree with finding yourself. You know, you've got to love yourself for you. What am I going on about?
You know what? I'm actually so good at giving advice. I'm just not very good at taking my own advice.
No, you're not. That's true.
Okay, Jesus Christ, I didn't need like a backup there.
It's called constructive criticism, Leah.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on myself. Thank you.
I do think it's sad. Like, I would be so pissed off if James was like, sorry, I know we're getting married in 3 months, but just need to go to TGI's on this day, and then...
Oh, yeah, okay, no, that would hurt. Do you know what? I think as well, the problem is, when I read this stuff, I don't, like, deep it enough. I'm like, oh, it ain't that deep. But then when I actually, like, put myself in that position, I'll be like, oh, it'd be over. It'd be over.
I would actually leave this state as well, because another one that I live by is that if you are in a relationship where you had to cheat to join that relationship, for example, like, say you were the cheater and the cheatee, don't be surprised if they cheat again. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
I won't go that far.
100%. Because can you imagine being like, oh yeah, I'm going to go on a date, I want to find the person I want to be with.
But that's not necessarily how she's been. She's just really unsure. But if you're that unsure, you shouldn't be in that relationship. You should just like cut it off, and then in a few months' time, if you're like, oh god, that was really the wrong decision, like this time past showing me that no, like I was just being in my own head and overthinking stuff, fair enough. Going on a date while you're engaged is the wrong thing to do.
Have you seen that film though, where that happens, where she's like, oh, we just need some time apart, I need to find myself. It's on Netflix, I can't remember the name. And literally when she's like, right, I'm ready, I found myself. So she went and like fucked around with a bunch of people, and then he actually found someone else, and she was like, oh, but I love you. And he was like, it's too late, I found someone else. It's got Rebel Wilson in it.
Oh, I might have to have a look.
But yeah, literally, it's kind of that situation where she wanted to explore and then realised, actually, he was my person. And then he was like, it's too late, I found someone else's.
And I think as well, like, a lot of the problems you could have in your current relationship, like, you could easily just have that in another relationship.
Oh my God, I saw this really good TikTok, right? This woman was talking about how, like, they've been together for so long and they were on, like, the brink of their relationship, like, being over, and her dad got involved and was like, look, your problems that you're dealing with now with the person that you know, someone else will have another set of problems that you also might not be, you know. I think people throw relationships away too quickly now, because you can just go be on another date that same night. But I do think there is something for working through your problems. Don't get me wrong, some problems shouldn't work through. Like, you should leave. But yeah, I think that's a real issue that we face in 2022.
Well, that's the thing, like you said as well, especially with social media, is that, like, you could even, like, start talking to someone, like, across the world that you, like, saw on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, back then, like, back in the day, you wouldn't have been able to do that because, what, you would have had somebody's email at best, but you wouldn't know what they look like, you wouldn't have, do you know what I mean? But now there's, like, you feel like you know someone when you don't actually know them, but then you can, like, FaceTime, you can, do you know what I mean? It's just, like, really, like, the distance doesn't make a difference these days.
No, it don't. Right, this one's really creepy because obviously this is worst first dates. So I've tried to, like, cover all angles here. But this says, I didn't know it was a date. He said I looked 15. I'm 20 now, but was 19 at the time. And then he said, I don't mind that. He was 22, 24. Then he started acting a bit sketchy and asked if I thought I was strong enough to beat him in a physical altercation.
Oh my God.
Creep. Massive so creep. Creepy. Like, that is literally, I know obviously dating apps and that are probably like a playground for creeps and like finding their victims and that. But can you imagine, like, obviously he's gone for her because she looks young, which straight away, red flags.
Oh, yeah.
That's red flags straight away. Like, he's trying to be some, like, paedophile. Yeah, some paedophilic shit.
Okay, I don't know if you can say that, but okay. Okay.
Well, I said it. This is our podcast and that's what I think. And then obviously about, do you think that you could physically, like, take me down? Like, he's thinking about grabbing her.
Oh my God, do you know what, yeah? Like, if you ever gonna get attacked, yeah, just punch him in the throat. Punch him in the throat.
Yeah, thing is, like,
if you punch someone hard enough in the throat...
That's true, actually, to be fair.
No,
eyes, throat, dick.
Yeah, literally. But if you do the throat first, they'll be like, yeah. And then you get there. And
the thing is, you've got to be quick. Like, you can't think about it. You just got to be like, bam, 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 and then fucking run.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's well dodgy. I would be so creeped.
Do you remember that time though? I was trying to prove a point. They're like, I think you used a word when I was going to go on like some walks by myself or run by myself, and you were trying to say that I could easily be kidnapped, and I was like, guys, no, I couldn't. I'm so feisty. And then do you remember Dad tried to like grab me to prove a point, and then I think you tried to, and I think Liam tried to, and I actually managed to like wrangle myself out.
She's very scrappy.
I'm scrappy,
and she's actually quite. If you ever fight with her, not that I think anyone will, but she will literally sit on your head. She will pinch the shit. Like, she does, like, her nails are very sharp as well, and she pinches hard. But you are very scrappy. But one time Leah nearly did get abducted by a kiddie fiddler.
Yeah, but I did get away. Yeah,
but literally she was... Do you want to tell your nearly taken story?
Yeah, so I was like...
Okay, if I have to.
Okay, so basically what happened is I was literally round the corner from my house. Like, one corner round from my house in a quiet cul-de-sac, and I had my skateboard and I was going down a hill and I had my headphones in, and then there was this car that went to drive past in the opposite direction, and then I kind of looked around and I could see they were reversing, so I thought nothing of it because I thought, oh, maybe they've just missed their turning. I literally was listening to my headphones and then I could feel you could just see something in the corner of your eye, and the car was just slowly driving along, but so slow so it could keep up with me and my like steps. And then basically he said something out the window, but I had my headphones in, so I thought he was asking like, oh, what's this street? So I said the street name, and then he was like, oh, how old are you? And I was like, why do you want to know? I don't know, why was I even entertaining a conversation?
What do you want to know?
Yeah. And then he was like, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh. And I was like, what? But at the same time I'm saying this, I'm like looking in his car, and he's got like an old beaten-up car, and I'm just kind of like looking, I was just like, this... Yeah, it's just like a weird vibe. It's kind of weird. Time kind of went slow at the same time. Anyway, so then he kept kind of basically repeating like just all the generic stuff, like saying I was good looking and all this stuff. Bear in mind, I was like, what, 12? But I would have looked even younger.
I was going to say, Leah looks very young in like her younger pictures. So even when she looked like 11, 12, she was looking more like 7.
That's quite a drop. Yeah, so basically, and then like in my head I kind of just like realised what was happening, and then I literally, don't ask me why, bent down to pick my skateboard up. I was like, I'm not leaving this here. Like Like, he could have just grabbed me and put me in a car.
I know what he wants. He wants my skateboard.
Like, where was my sense? Instead of just running, I was like, let me get this first. And then I literally just ran as fast as I could. I didn't look back. It obviously didn't take me long to get back. But when you're trying to run really fast, you actually don't know, like, are they out the car running too? Are they driving in the car? Like, you don't actually know. So I was just running like this. Look at me. I was running like this. And then I just ran against the front door and I was hitting it like as hard as possible because I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know, is he still like after me? Because I weren't looking back, and I was as hard as possible. But then I realised what he actually did do was just like quickly do a quick 3-point turn and then just like drive off. He didn't like drive past me, just did a 3-point. And anyway, we've reported it to police. Apparently he's been doing it to quite a lot of young girls at that time. I don't know if he ever got caught.
I weren't at home because I would have probably been out with the skateboard with you.
Yeah, well, Dad then did get in the car with me, and I think we drove around for like an hour trying to find him because I think Dad was going to kill him. I just chinned the microphone. I don't know what noise that would have made.
You're like, and that's what I would have done to that guy. I would have chinned him.
But
yeah, people are creeps. I remember once I
love how we talk about first dates, and I'm like, oh yes, my first time with
abducted.
when I was nearly abducted. That is not a date situation.
Double date. The two guys kept talking about how to dine and dash the whole time. After the meal, the two guys got up and left for the bathroom. After a long time, guy one comes back, pays for the other couple's half, and they leave. My date did not come back. He was also my ride. After a longer than comfortable period of time, I paid our bill, then walked outside to try and figure out how to get home. He comes outside after a while and acted like nothing happened.
What though? But you've dined and dashed the person that you were telling about dining and dashing.
Yeah. Literally, I think he was kind of hoping she'd get the idea and like go with him.
Oh,
but instead
she paid. So then did he pay her back?
So actually, when I read more into this, she ended up marrying him. But she put this as like nightmare first date because obviously she thought he just up and left, which he kind of did. But yeah, she was like, yeah, he was very immature back then.
Oh my God, she married him.
Yeah. But then like I don't know, I really don't condone stealing. It really doesn't sit right with me. I've never stolen anything in my life. Like, you know, when you were a kid you used to steal like people used to steal rubbers and that from school. Like, I never did it ever. So I don't know, it really makes me feel uncomfortable. And then I'm like, oh, is this what you expect of me going forward? Because I'd have guilt and I'd go back and then I'd get in trouble.
Yeah, like, how could you ever feel comfortable going back to that place?
I wouldn't. Like, the embarrassment I would feel. See, I don't feel embarrassed like about cringy stuff, but when it comes, like, if people think I've done something wrong and I'm in the shop, like, you know, if you buy something and you're going in with a bag already, you're like, I came in with this. Like, that's me. I'm like, and wait, oh my God, when the buzzer goes off in a shop, you know, if they've left a tag on, I'm like, I didn't take anything. Yeah. I hate it.
Look, I don't judge people for stealing if they have to. Like, if it's like a means to survive, like they've got no money, then I'm not going to judge someone for stealing stuff. But, like, you could have gone somewhere else or, like, even done, like, a picnic situation to save money if you didn't have that money. But it's like he went there with the intention of getting free food and not paying.
Yeah, especially on like a first date as well. I just think like that's so dodgy.
As far as first impressions go, and then she married him.
She was like, do you know what? This is the guy that's going to take my heart.
Well, I mean, it worked.
But I don't know. I find like that kind of thing, like, especially, I don't think I'd ever want to go on a first double date. I could understand like the whole, you know, safety in numbers and stuff. But like, it's just, you can tell if I was ever going on a date, I've got my protective gear, I've got my like rape whistle, I have everything. Have you seen on TikTok though, you can get like these girls have started their own businesses, especially, I think it happened more over lockdown, they started making them more, but it was like safety keychains for like, you know, obviously as women we have to deal with a lot of stuff in terms of our own safety and being out. And this is right, I'm going a bit off subject a little bit here, but I had this whole conversation with James because growing up, when we worked in retail, like when we worked at that car place, I don't know if I want to say the name, but we worked at the car place, I said to James, was you ever told when you get in the car, lock your car straight away? And he was like, no. And I was like, I did. I was like, have you ever been told if there's a leaflet on your car, do not touch it, just get in your car and drive? And he was like, no, I just take it off my car. And I was like, exactly. Like, the safety things we have to even process.
Yeah, it's a scary world.
It is. Sorry, I went a bit off piece there. But, like, yeah, to be fair, though, clearly, you know, it was impressionable for her. She liked the guy, but I don't know, I wouldn't like that. I'd probably never go back to him.
No, I wouldn't. No, that would not do it for me.
No, or me. Right. Next one. I met a girl for a blind date once. She didn't say a single word throughout dinner, finished her meal and walked out. I then checked my phone and there was a message from the girl saying she couldn't make it tonight.
What? Wait, so was it just a random girl?
That girl has like, the biggest balls to be able to just go sit down with someone you don't know and eat the food and then leave.
I mean, to be fair, I would probably do that. Because, like, free food. No, I wouldn't then pay for me. I'd go half. I don't know why I said that.
I don't actually know you, but thanks for the company.
But I mean, I probably would try and make a bit of a combo.
But do you think this was the date?
Yeah.
She rocked up and was like, oh, actually, he isn't, like, for me. But let's act crazy. He doesn't know what I'm like, eats the food, then fucks off, and then just message him like, sorry, I can't be there.
Do you know what? It probably was that one. It probably was.
Because you wouldn't normally go up to someone and just go and sit with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be fair, we would actually probably, because when we see people, we're like, oh, they're on their own. Like, we should go and, like...
mingle.
Leo tried to buy hash browns.
I didn't. I just really, really thought about it.
Because this man dropped his hash brown and she felt really sad that he lost a hash brown. But, yeah, I actually do think it was the date.
Yeah, and I just think that's so out of order because, look, like, when you get there, yeah, you might be like, oh, like, this ain't really working. But she's not even trying to make conversation. Like, you could at least, on a friend level, just make conversation for that time because then, like, oh, he'd be feeling so bad and he'd probably be really overthinking it and he, oh, no, brace up. Oh, I've got too much compassion.
But how awkward would that be as well if she sits down and you're like, yeah, so... And then nothing. Like, she says nothing back to him. Like, you would be sitting there really awkward thinking, God, what have I done? Like...
Yeah, that's so sad.
But that I would say is a really bad first date because it's just... And also, he'll always be thinking that now. Like, that's planted a seed in him that next time he has a date, whether it's a blind date or an actual date, he'll be like, is she going to show up? Is she going to stay? It's really sad.
And like, those experiences will stay with you.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
God damn it, I don't want to cry today.
To be honest, I don't think these have been too bad, considering.
But, you say considering, this is because we haven't been through it. Like, I would say for someone being told that they'd like to wear your skin is pretty bad. I'd say, you know, your date actually just leave and not say anything is pretty bad. But maybe we're just desensitised to it because of all the stuff we read on the internet that we're like, oh, not that bad.
I think that's the problem. With the internet, you hear, like, the worst of the worst. So when stuff like this happens, you're like, oh, casual.
They didn't lose any fingers. What they crying about? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just... Yeah. I think that's the issue. I think as a generation, obviously we still feel a lot of, you know, compassion to people and that. But certain things that should actually probably think, oh God, that's quite bad, we don't actually think it is anymore. But I do think all of these are quite like, ooh, like they're just bad first dates, isn't it?
Well, one, they got married.
That's true, but it was a bad date. Like, just die and dash it. I'd be like, livid.
Livid.
Last one. This man, who is quite frankly the worst, he went on about how much I have to learn. He was 30, I'm 23. And then he said, you'd look like such an effing model if you'd lost weight. He then went on about how he can help me lose the weight and how we can go hiking, etc. I really hope Karma saw this one through.
I mean, I quite like a bit of a walk.
Yeah, but come on. Like, first of all, how patronising for someone to say you have so much to learn just because he's 7 years older. Like, I'm nearly 30 and I feel like I still have so much to learn. It's not like age actually makes you more experienced. It's your experience that makes you experienced.
Yeah, but I just feel like from the age of 23 to the age of 30, like there's so much life that happens in between that time. It is weird.
Yeah, but to say it to someone, like...
No, yeah, you shouldn't say it to someone, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I always find it a bit weird when it's like an older guy wanted to go.
Oh, yeah, like, to be fair, age differences, I think, obviously are so different. You see people that are like 50 with 18-year-olds and stuff like that. And like, you know, if you love someone, you love someone. But I do think that kind of, you know, leans on the whole weirdo spectrum, if I'm honest, because like how far each way would you go? Like I wouldn't go younger, and I'd probably go 2 years older.
Yeah. No, I'd probably do the same. So I'd probably go most 29 at the age of 26.
Yeah, I don't know, but then people are different. Like you fall in love with the person, I guess. But like I would never, ever, ever set like obviously I wouldn't anyway because I'm married. But I wouldn't.
It's all coming out now.
I would never set like the Tinder age to like.
To be honest, I didn't know you could do that on Tinder. To be honest,
yeah, Steph told me because she does it. She doesn't go younger. She goes older. But not that old. She doesn't want like a granddad.
But I always think though, like I know loads of people have age gaps and it's like normal now and stuff like that. But like the way my brain works, yeah, there's a 7-year age gap between them. So I think, when she was 7, he was 14. When she was 14, he was 21. Now you would say that's paedophilic.
Well, it is. She's underage.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of just... But when you get past a certain age, I feel like the gap doesn't really make much of a difference. But my brain, the way it works, I always have to work back until it's inappropriate.
But, like...
I don't know why.
When he was 7, she was swimming in her dad's ball sack.
Yeah, when he was 7, yeah.
She was an embryo.
Exactly. Like...
Weirdo. But... I don't even think that's the worst part of this. I think the worst part is that he said you look like such an effing model if you lost weight. Like, models are all shapes and sizes. You do not have to be a certain size to be a model.
Regardless of, like, someone's weight or whatever, yeah, somebody could be what's considered to be a normal size, and they could be like, oh, well, if you just didn't have wonky eyes, if you didn't have a gap in your tooth, if...
I'm taking that one to heart, Leah, with my gap.
I said wonky eyes. Hello. Like, oh, if your forehead wasn't so big, if your lips were bigger, do you know what I mean? So it's like, regardless, like, no one's ever going to really fit into someone's standard of beauty.
No, and do you know, when Steph and Becca and I was just messing around on Omegle, which is just a horrible place to be, don't do it, some guy, and I'm determined to find him, he obviously was doing it as like a YouTube troll, and he said something and I said, sorry, I didn't hear you. I've still got the clip and I ain't letting it go till I find this guy. And he was like, don't listen to her, she's fat. And I went, did you just call me fat? And then he hung up. And I was like, you little bitch. Like, why do people feel the need to comment on people's sizes, the way they look? Like, it's nothing fucking to do with you, mate. And like, I would have walked straight out there and be like, you need to reassess your whole fucking life. I'm determined to find that streamer though. I literally spent hours.
You just gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. People are dicks. You just gotta let it go.
But like, how can people have like the audacity to say that to someone? Not even like just, not in my case, I'm obviously taking this to heart now, but like like on a date with someone, you've matched with them because you think, you know, they're attractive, you're connecting on a like a level, you know, you've obviously had some chat before, it's not a blind date, and then he's like commenting on your weight.
Yeah, but I feel like most people wouldn't say it to someone's face. Like, people would say comments like that through a screen. Obviously, in this case, he did. But then, to be honest, I feel like it's quite good that he did, because obviously it stops you from going on more dates with him. Like, when someone is that, like, when someone has a personality that's that ugly, it makes your decision very easy to not keep going on dates with them. Do you know what I mean?
That's very true, Leah. I like the wisdom you've just parted on us.
Do you know what I mean? So you'd rather him say it there and make himself look like a dick than him suppress those thoughts, and then it might come out once you're in too deep.
Because she knows that she is beautiful, she is a queen, she doesn't need to lose weight, she's beautiful, and I can't think of any more hyping up words right now.
You've said beautiful twice.
I know, because I just hate how people base people's worth off of their clothes size and their weight, because weight fluctuates, especially if you're a woman. Oh my god, like during like my period, I can't wear jeans, like I am bloated as shit. And like, I just don't... Women also have so many different hormone changes throughout the month. If you actually look at... I think it's a graph on the internet. I'll have to find it and show you. Like, it shows how men's hormones don't really change throughout the month, but women's are like up and down. Oh, and they have the cheek to say to us, like, oh God, you're so moody. Like, back off.
But also as well, like when he said you look like such a model if you lost weight, but there are models of like all different sizes, aren't there?
You've
got plus size models. I feel like, to be honest, these days is like, I think it's easier and harder because like obviously there's like a whole body positivity movement, and obviously you are seeing like plus size models, and like even like some clothing websites are photoshopping like stretch marks and cellulite and stuff like that. But on the other end of the spectrum, like I would hate to be like a 12-year-old growing up with Instagram, because all you're seeing is girls with fake boobs and big lips. So before you've even fully developed yourself, you're thinking that's what you need to look like. And it's like a lot of it will be like subtle at first, and then everyone else around you starts doing it, so then you feel pressured to do it. Like imagine, it's crazy.
Thing is though, we've had this conversation a few times offline, just like when we're in my living room chatting or whatever, but like I don't really fit into that whole Instagram like Facetune. Neither do you don't Facetune. But I actually found like a whole TikTok where it shows people's before and after, and I was like, why would you want to change yourself that much? Because you're going to look back and that's not the person you were, that's not the way you look like, and you're going to remember these memories in some weird tinted glasses that were never you. And also growing up, and if you have children, then they're going to see how you looked at that age. Like we said this in a few podcasts back, that children now don't have that awkward phase of finding themselves. Like they see people like Addison Rae, Charlie D'Amelio, they're the people, and no hate to them, like I don't really follow them, but like they're seeing these people and even they get body shamed, and you think, I don't understand what people want from people.
Yeah, what you said about Facetune, it's actually really scary, because there's some where it would look very subtle. Like if I was to see the picture on Instagram, I'd be like, oh, okay, there must be like a quick filter over there. But then I would have thought, oh, well, a lot of it's just lights and like a lot of makeup. But then actually, when you look at the original picture, it's completely different, but you wouldn't think it was manufactured to the extent that it has been. So then, like, we're all trying to look like someone that isn't even looking like that themselves. So it's crazy. Like, you're never going to be able to look like that, because even they do not look like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually so upsetting. And the issue is the issue is that men, you know, everyone's aware of it, but like, for example, this man here, he might not know these apps. He might just be seeing people at face value, like you said, thinking that is, you know, legit how people look, and it actually isn't. So it's actually really upsetting. And when I have children, I will not be mentioning weight. There won't be good food, bad food in this house. Instagram will not be making an appearance to very later on in their life. And self-love is definitely going to be taught. Like, you know, looking yourself in the mirror, you know, I'm smart, and not everything about looks. Our dad actually picked up on something similar to this. So our niece, she's young, she's still in primary school, and she'll be told like, oh, you're so beautiful and all this stuff. And he's like, actually, you're very clever. You know, you're independent, you're creative. Like, that's the words that he praises to her instead of the way she looks. Like, think about it. Every time someone has a baby, someone comments, oh, so beautiful.
Well, they're probably not smart yet, but
I think they made their way up the birthing canal. I think that's pretty smart.
But as well, not only is it like the pressure that women are kind of putting on other women just by everyone trying to attain that level of beauty, but like I even called out on my Snapchat before. Like I think I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I literally just like called out. Like a lot of my followers are guys. Like I would say it's like at least 90% of followers from guys. And I literally said, I'm not being funny, but if you follow people like Kylie Jenner, then you are part of the problem, because you're not following her for her skincare. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a reason they're following her, and she isn't. So it's not like I'm trying to shame her as such, but she has definitely played into a lot of people's problems and insecurities. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What I like about TikTok, and I've probably said TikTok about 4 times in this whole like podcast today, but it's so many people from around the world actually outing people as well. Some women actually showed the timeline of Kylie getting her like, is it a BBL and stuff like that? Like all the work she got done over time. And most people are like, oh yeah, it was puberty. But if you actually look back, it weren't puberty. Don't get me wrong. They're a very good looking family. But money also helps. Like, I like the Kardashians.
90% of it is surgery. 90% of it is surgery. And it is. And obviously, they get scrutinised, and they probably want to change themselves even more. But at the end of the day, she started getting lip fillers and stuff like that when she was like, 17? And then she's definitely had a boob job. So it's like, she changed herself before her body was even finished developing it. So you don't even know what she would have looked like if she didn't have all this stuff done.
But I do believe that if that's what they're going to have, okay, but tell people that's what you're having. You know, like you were saying about Saffron Barker put on her Instagram the other day that she had a boob job. Okay, great. Like, great. But at least she's not lying to her followers.
No, but she only just said it. She got that done when she was 18, and was she now like 21?
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's only because someone said it, and she was like, oh yeah, like actually got done when I was 18, does anyone want me to talk about it? But she didn't tell anyone, so I just thought, like, oh my God, like she's just naturally got these big boobs kind of thing. But no, surgery. A lot of it's surgery. And what you have to remember, yeah, is that like people, yeah, we can easily be insecure about stuff. But I honestly believe if I started changing parts of my body, I would just, one, find another part of me to change. But second of all, like your body works so hard, and like to be actually healthy mentally and physically, your body has to have like a harmony within itself, and your stress levels can't be too over this side and all that. But
mine is way too high that direction.
But it's like your body works so hard, and if you've got a healthy body, then you are lucky just that it's doing what it's supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? So why would you put your body under pressure? Because when you've got an implant, you get that, what's it called? Oh, have you seen it? If you've not seen it, I'll show you. Basically, I can't remember the professional word, but your body the whole time is trying to reject the implant because it's a foreign object. So basically, when people get like their boobs redone and stuff like that, they'll go in and your body's created like this hardness around it that they have to actually cut out because it's done as a defense mechanism to try and stop. So that's why there's like breast plant illness, which, do you know about that?
No.
This is the thing. It's proven breast plant illness, certain implants, but I think just implants in general, to be honest, because your body is trying to fight off this implant and stuff like that, it actually can weaken your immune system. So there's been people that literally, young people, they've had to use walking sticks and stuff like that. You look up on YouTube everywhere. So then there was this whole movement where there was explants where women were getting it removed, and they were saying as soon as it was out their body, they were feeling like so much better already.
Really?
It's a real thing, breast plant illness, yeah.
Oh my God. See, that's the thing, like, you just hit the nail on the head there, innit? Like, your body is supposed to be made that way for a reason, and if you start tinkering with it, you're only going to make it worse. So yeah, if you, going back to the whole date thing, if you're with anyone that thinks that it's acceptable to comment on your weight in a negative manner, you need them out of your life. You need to cut them off, or if it's, you know, people that you can't cut off, you need to set boundaries. But like, I don't respect your opinion, and I need you to shut up and leave me alone. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did, and we will see you next time for 2
Candid.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I forgot the bye. Oh, sorry guys.